Hello and welcome to pdfsupply.com. Today we're going to be testing an IC697ALG441 expansion analog input card I have here. So I'm going to briefly talk a moment about what I have in my hardware configuration, and then I'll discuss a little bit about the Proficy machine edition and what I'm doing in there in order to do this test. First of all, this is a voltage input, 0 to 10 volt, minus 10 to positive 10 volt DC analog card. It measures DC only, voltage DC only. For the test, I'm going to be using just a battery with a couple leads attached to it, and I'm going to probe each channel to get a reading. And my goal is to make sure that each reading is exactly the same within reason, but pretty much exactly the same. If I have a channel that is way off, then I know that there's something wrong. So what I have here is a IC697CHS750 5-slot rack. It's being powered by an IC697 PWR 711 power supply. The processor I'm using is an IC697 CPX935. And of course I have a IC697ALG441. I say of course because this is the card that's absolutely essential for this test, and it's the only card that you can expand off of. So this is a part that you're going to have to do this test no matter what. Alright? As you can see that the processor's in run mode and my expansion active light is on and my OK light is on in the ALG441. So this is all working properly, nothing's blinking, everything's communicating. The wiring diagram that I have here is actually quite simple. You'll notice at the bottom of each of the door cards, the door description cards, that it says E within a round circle and E within a square frame, and then the numerals 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. This is what it's telling you is this is the expansion output to the expansion input section, and it's parallel wiring in between the two. In other words, E3 goes to E3, which is terminal 36 to terminal 36 from the ALG230 to the ALG441. Terminal 38 to terminal 38, terminal 37 to 37, 39 to 39. So it's very simple wiring diagram, nothing difficult there, and it's found in the manuals, and it's also found right here on the door card. So that's where you want to expand from and to. Alright? So we won't need this for the test, the information here, but we will need to read all the channels and the corresponding terminals. Now, getting into Proficy Machine Edition, what I've done is I've established within my main rack a completely separate file that I have just to test in ALG441. So the file is blank. The slot 1 has the CPX935, slot 2 the ALG230, slot 3 the ALG441. And then I've gone ahead and placed the CPU into run mode, as you can see here. So the first thing I want to do, if I double click on the ALG441 or double click on slot number 3, you could even right click and select configure. A tab will pop open and it'll show the ALG441's settings. And the reason that I open up the settings is because I like to look at the reference address that it's established. It's the first setting, reference address, under parameters. And if you look at the value, or in this case the address location, I have on a blank file, it should be %AI0009. Meaning that the first 8 channels, of course, are dedicated to the ALG230. Alright? So we're starting, our first channel is starting at address location analog input 9. Next I want to go to the reference view tables, open that up, and then underneath that expand the default tables. And select the top selection is analog input, and double click on that. Alright, now the analog input starting on location address AI0009 as we just described is where I want to start to see my responses when I touch the probes from this battery, these voltage DC probes from this battery to each channel. And again, I like to see that each channel has this exact same response. So you'll see a little bit of movement on the screen with the channels, but when there's actual voltage going to it, it should straighten out and get down to an exact voltage that it's giving you. So I'm on channel 1, which is terminals 1 and 3. The odd terminals are on the right-hand side, and the even terminals are on the left-hand side. And those correspond with these digits in the middle of the door card. And I'm going to continue to go through each channel. 2 and 4 is channel 2. 5 and 7 is channel 3. 6 and 8 is channel 4. And so on. And I will continue this test until every channel is tested. And I'm satisfied with the outcome. Okay? So for your test, you would just keep going through all the channels. There's 16 altogether. What I would say is if you're troubleshooting this, if you feel that there's a problem with the device, there's a few obvious things. The most obvious thing, of course, is if you can't get your expansion active light on, if for some reason, and you know that your wiring is perfect according to the door scheme here, and it doesn't see this card, or the OK light is not working, there's a very good chance that there's something wrong with this ALG441. Also, more importantly, if everything is working but you have some faulty channels, meaning you have 3 volts or 4 volts or 5 volts and the readings are not consistent throughout the channels, or a couple of the channels or one channel is always giving you a response which is completely wrong. It's either all the way at the top of 10 volts or it's not giving you a response at all. Any of these things could be a major problem with ALG441. It could be a faulty card, and that's something that we do repair here at PDF Supply. We offer exchange programs, new and remanufactured products, and same-day shipping. So if that's something that you're interested in or you need, please see us at pdfsupply.com. Thank you.